What's up, everybody? This is Dominic D'Angelo, and we are back. It is right down the middle, Daddy, and I am here with the man himself, Fonzie, Bill Alfonso. Fonzie, how are you, man?
I am doing freaking great day down here in Tampa Bay, surrounded by superstars like Hulk Hogan's right down there. Everybody lives here, having a great time. Hey, tonight can we talk about onlywrestlers.com? We just came from Los Angeles, a super show. Oh my goodness, it was badass, Daddy.
It did look badass too. There are lots of cool events going on. The atmosphere looked really, really great. And yeah, you had some great talent on the card too. And you were a part of it in a different realm. You weren't managing this time around, but you were refereeing.
No, they tried to sign me with. I'm doing a contract with them. We did a verbal. They want me to be their senior official and backstage and agent type thing, which fits me perfect, Daddy, because I referee. As a 5-star international referee, like so many famous matches. Like, look, the cover of the Japanese magazine, 1991, I think it was, in
Yep.
Tokyo, 65,000 people refereeing the largest athletic on the planet. That was a famous Flair Fujinami match that I refereed. And, the referee, the bruiser, the famous Bruiser Brody Lex Luger cage match.
Yep.
Guess it was called it right down the middle, baby, in the early 90s, in the early 80s. So,
Heck,
yeah. So onlywrestlers.com, I'm gonna be the senior official,
the senior official.
and I
What
love it. Yes,
what match did you officiate in Los Angeles? Which one was
I
it?
refereed the opening match, which was the Backseat Boys. Oh my god, it was a great match. And then Charlie Hubbard. You just gotta watch it, Daddy. It's badass. I ended up getting pushed around a little bit in the ring, but hey, I'm not taking any abuse. So I pie faced the guy Sabu style with a steel chair. You're gonna love it, Daddy. Very
Heck yeah.
unusual for me to get pissed off, but don't put your hands on the funds.
You're the senior official. You have the right to do that.
Yeah, I can write it in, pie
That's
face to the
it. You're
chair,
the
Daddy.
smart. That's it.
And
Well,
Van
shout out
Dam
to
was sensational. What a host. Van Dam didn't wrestle that night. He's calling it right. He's getting everything in order. And Katie Forrest was there, one of the top 10 most beautiful girls on the planet. She was great, man. What a from the beginning to the end, man. What a great production. We're in a $10 million studio with all the lights and action. And we're going to follow that up May 29th in Chicago, Illinois. It's on a Thursday night, Daddy. Same type deal.
That's it. That's great. Yeah, Chicago's such a cool wrestling city. I'm sure you have some great memories being in Chicago too, with just the historic stuff that's been on there. Did you officiate like two at the Rosemont and anything like that, or did you
Oh,
work?
yeah, absolutely. When I was with WWF, was WWF back at that time. And of course, that WCW went in there too, didn't we?
Oh yeah, WCW went in there too, and
Yeah, so I
I,
refereed for both companies in the same building. It was pretty cool.
that's awesome.
Uh, so yeah, like the Los Angeles Forum, which is we don't run there no more, but I got to work in the Forum. Every major arena in the United States I've been in,
You can't beat that. What is
and I
your
love
favorite arena?
Chicago.
Do you have a favorite arena, Fonzie, that you get when you go?
Tokyo Dome,
Tokyo Dome. Okay.
because it's indoors. It holds approximately 65,000 people indoors. It's amazing. But hey, it's hard to call you. Look, Madison Square Garden's the most famous arena on the planet. I was there. I met Donald Trump there too, way before he's president. Uh, um, the Forum, Sam Houston Coliseum, Roberto Clemente Stadium in Puerto Rico, Aloha Stadium, and there's so many, man, so many. Miami Beach Convention Center. The list goes on and on, so it's hard to pinpoint one. But I do like the Tokyo Dome because I was there refereeing with Flair and Fujinami, and there were 65,000 people refereed a couple matches. Giant Gonzalez, pretty cool.
That's awesome. Heck yeah, man. So well traveled. And yeah, was that part of some historic matches with legends of the business too, Fonzie. So
Can you tell I'm a little excited tonight, Daddy?
that's it, right?
We got a lot going on, man. Van Dam's got it going on. OnlyWrestlers.com is it's a new system, man. The wrestling fans can participate and actually call the matches. I got to get used to it. It's so different. It's so cool, and we got people from all over the world signing up to be a part of this.
Yeah, yeah. You guys can sign.
Different countries, and you know, we're using Van Dam's name to get us started. He's, one of the executive producers of the OnlyWrestlers.com, and what a spot for me because Van Dam loves me for some reason. So
That's for some reason. I don't know
I'm
why. Right?
right in, Daddy. Thanks, RVD. You're the whole fucking show.
He definitely is that. He definitely is that. No, guys, if you're interested, sign up at onlywrestlers.com. You can get your account all made, and there's plenty of talent on there, pages and pages of talent that you can subscribe to. You can subscribe to RVD for free. You can subscribe to Katie Forbes' account for free. You can subscribe to the Only Wrestlers account for free as well. I don't know. I might be free. I don't remember if I'm free or not. I got to create some content to put on there, though. I know that much. But
yes, absolutely.
It
it's going to be good for everybody.
Everybody
It'll
on
be great
there.
for everybody. The fans are going to love it because, hey, you can talk to me. I'm going to be shooting stuff in my home and connecting with the fans is pretty damn cool.
Heck yeah.
I'm calling them OnlyWrestlers.com super fans because if you're in this, you're a super fan. You are super and you're winners just like me and RBD.
That's it. That's it. Join the club. I know Maddie's a part of it. Triple E, I believe, is a part of it. But you guys can sign up.
The card is stacked and people are signing up every day more and more.
Yes, absolutely. What wrestler? Is there any particular talents that you weren't as familiar with at this Only Wrestlers event that stood out to you? Was there any names? Yeah.
There was some guys. I have met so many people in the last few years, and they're all new guys. We're a dying breed. The last guys like me and Barry Windham and we're not wrestling so much. All these new kids, man, so talented. Oh my God. Yes.
There was one of the names too that really. What did you think of Ricky Morton's son, Kerry Morton?
Oh yeah, he's like his dad.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the jacked up body. He don't get the 22-inch pythons. He doesn't have the blonde. But man, this kid is sports entertainment at his finest.
He's really good.
He's got to carry. He's got a big X on his back. Ricky Moore. He's Orange kid. You know what I mean? So he's got to produce, and he does spectacular. He's very cool in the dressing room. I hung out with him. We chatted. Very cool guy, and he's excellent in the ring.
He's such a nice person, but he's very well attuned outside of wrestling too. I know I've interviewed him a couple times, and he mentioned about how he's got a marketing degree. I think is what his
he's a smart kid.
He's a very smart kid, yeah, and it's pretty neat that I think he's doing some great heel work too in NWA, if I'm not mistaken, right now.
So. Psychology, he's got it, man. Well, yeah. He has to have it. He was born into the business.
Yeah.
He was born, his dad was in the main events in Raleigh, Durham, in the Carolinas, or, anywhere they went, they were big stars,
Yeah.
Ricky and Robert.
Yeah, really. I mean, with Ricky too. I mean, he's one of the best sellers in all of pro wrestling of all time. He was able to cultivate that fighting from underneath kind of style, and getting the crowd amped up and with it. So
that's just one example of OnlyWrestlers.com.
That's it, exactly. And you guys sign up.
Boring kid, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah! Sign up now at OnlyWrestlers.com. You can sign up for free, and you can subscribe to some channels for free as well. So be sure.
It's very inexpensive. You can sign in. If you don't like it, sign out, Daddy. But I guarantee you, blood, sweat, and tears, you're going to love it.
Absolutely.
Get used to all the cool stuff, man, that we offer.
And the neat thing about that, too, is you can, once you sign up, say if you signed up for Fonzie's account and you subscribe to that, then you get the pay-per-view for that price. So and it's just that straight out. Go to Fonzie's channel and it'll be on the channel there for you. So
Yeah, yeah, it was very, very cool. And we just did our first big show in Los Angeles at the Rosemont, right on off of Hollywood Boulevard. It was cool. We went and I did a promo because I'm doing a show in Maryland for AWA, and me, Van Damme, and Katie did a promo right on Vince McMahon's star and the sidewalk,
oh wow.
right next to, yeah, all the stars there. It was cool. Humphrey Bogart, Vince McMahon. So we chose to do the promo there. It was great. So I can't wait for Chicago. May 29th is a Thursday. I wish I had more information on the building, but I just found out the date. I knew it was coming up, but I didn't know the exact date. But now we got it May 29th. It's a Thursday. Onlywrestlers.com. Go there and get all the information. And I got a lot of cool friends in Chicago too.
Oh
And
man.
what's that name of that famous hot dog place that I ate at? There's a couple sandwich shops and restaurants in Chicago that I used to go to. Damn, I can't
Hmm.
remember. But the food's great. Sports entertainment's great. Can't wait, Daddy.
Oh man, yeah.
And I
Chicago.
heard you may come in too.
I might be made. I'm gonna try to make the trip for sure. For sure, I'm gonna
Yes.
try to make the
If
trip.
not WrestleMania.
Oh yeah,
Oh no, that's after WrestleMania.
that's after
Hey,
WrestleMania. So
okay.
yeah, I'm definitely aiming to. I mean, Chicago's usually a cheap flight, so it's pretty easy for me to get there. And so I'm gonna try to make some plans, and gonna try to get my brother to go too. My degenerate brother,
Oh
Mark.
yeah, I'd love to have them. And hey, speaking of WrestleMania, a whole different ball game. Oh my God, I can't wait. I'm there with Ruda Entertainment. I'm an executive partner. Uh, for Ruda Entertainment. We just made belts for Tito Ortiz, the famous MMA
Yeah,
badass
yeah,
world champion. So I am an executive partner for Ruda Entertainment. We make belts. Let me give you an example.
yeah. Take a look at this, guys.
Here's Van Damme's belt that Van Damme held for 2 years, 4 months, 22 days, and 16 hours. That he's the longest reigning television champion of all time. Uh, this belt is really cool. The finest leather. It's heavy. Man, it's so cool. And I'm gonna be with Ruda Entertainment at the WrestleCon for 3 days. Actually, it's 4 days, but I'm working Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come check us out. If you can think of a belt that you want made, like we just made them for Tito Ortiz. He owns restaurants in South Florida. So we made restaurant belts for him. A friend of mine's son is having his bar mitzvah. We made him a custom bar mitzvah belt. You know
No
what I
way,
mean?
that's
And,
awesome.
and any belt that you can think of, like from like this one. This is not for sale though. Harley Race gave me
Oh
this
yeah,
belt in the late 80s. Somebody gave it to him and he said, Fonzie, you refereed so many of my matches, 60-minute Broadways with Barry Windham and Dusty and all this. He said, I want you to have this. So Harley Race gave me this belt, which is pretty cool.
that's
But we can
fantastic.
make a belt like this. Root Entertainment can make anything you want. So please come check us out. WrestleMania and Las Vegas at the WrestleCon. We're gonna have probably 60 or 70 belts on hand for purchase, or who knows? I'll probably give away a couple, like we did at Cauliflower Alley.
At the Cauliflower Club, yeah, we did that there.
Yeah, we donated 3 belts for the Cauliflower Alley Fund that is used for like Brian Knobs, the Nasty Boy. He's going through some difficult times right now, and uh, so offering prayer in the little capital. So they sell the belt, they auction the belt off, and we use it for stuff like that. A lot of guys got knocked down. We had a big hurricane here in Florida a few months ago, and a lot of guys got their ass rocked. So we're helping everybody we can.
Yeah, that's awesome, Fonzie.
And
Yeah,
who knows, I may need help one day.
you never. Yeah, sometimes it gets to that point. Everybody kind of needs help at some point or other.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
So
always
it's
good.
it's a very good thing. So Cauliflower Alley's great. WrestleMania is coming up, man. What a couple of next couple of months we got going on.
Yeah.
Hey, this Friday I'm going to be in Cleveland with Sandman, AIW, John Thorne, big production. So that's Friday night, big
Yeah.
show, Cleveland. Then Saturday morning, I'm jumping on the plane at 7 a.m., flying to Syracuse, New York. There's a WrestleCon for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. It's a big WrestleCon. I'm going to be there with um, a big sports company that they're flying me in, and I'll be there meet and greet and hanging out with the fans. And it's going to do really good. For some reason, the fans love me, and I love the
I don't know.
fans
Yeah,
too.
Fonzie, you got some sort of good chemistry, good energy about you.
I don't know, I like fat girls. I like, blondes. I like them all, Daddy.
That's it. You're a people person, Fonzie.
Yeah, Daddy. So
That's
come check us out this Saturday and Sunday in Syracuse, New York. We're not hard to find, Daddy.
yeah, absolutely. Were you thinking of Portillo's? Probably the
Oh
place
yes,
Portillo's.
yes, I
Yeah.
love Rodillo. Yes,
I did
exactly.
eat there. That's right. I did eat there when I was in Chicago last time.
They
Was
got the Reuben. Freaking, oh my God,
yeah,
badass.
yeah. Oh man, that's some real good stuff. Man. Well, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. It always helps to use the super chat that gets you first in line, and we'll have Fonzie definitely answer those questions. So super
Oh
chat always
yeah.
helps the channel. And then also too, be sure to like, subscribe if you're on rvdtv.com. If you're not, go there and like and subscribe because you'll get these live every time. And then you'll get exclusive clips and episodes from One of a Kind with RVD. And I'm going to put more clips of Fonzie and I on here too that you guys can check out and kind of enjoy too as the weeks go on. So be sure to get some stuff and check it out. Also, wanted to promote some of the merchandise that we have for Fonzie on One True Sport. You go to onetsport.com and we got several good items that you can get on there.
Oh yeah, I love those shirts.
Yeah.
Badass.
So we got
People have
the
been people have been asking for them for me. You can order them and they made to order. They're shipping right out to you. So I don't have any. I don't have inventory when I go to these WrestleCons and stuff. But that's going to change. I'm going to eventually get some inventory. But they're selling really good, especially the Sabu Van Dam Bill Alfonso with Fonzie in the back hat. People have been. Uh, I've been seeing them a lot at the conventions. They order them and you get them in 2 days.
you
Pretty
get them in
damn
2 days.
cool. Very
Yeah,
affordable too.
they get them. They make them, and just as you order them, and then you get ready to go. It's cool stuff. Um, Cal Z has a super chat here for you, Fonzie.
Can you see this?
Yeah, I can see that. Yep.
It change
There you go.
every 15 seconds. It changes to a new picture.
Yeah, you
So
got the good.
look, this Paul Heyman, 1982. Paul Heyman. Look, Dusty Rose, American Dream. Bill Alfonso calling right down the middle. This is my company that I work for. This Van Dam, Fonzie, and Sabu. That's in Tokyo, Daddy.
Nice.
And
Heck
list
yeah.
goes on and on. I get some great picks. The late Kevin Sullivan. Damn it.
Oh, amazing.
Barry Windham. There's a world title belt. Kevin Sullivan. There's Hulk Hogan, Fonzie, Duggan. There's Flair, Fujinami, 65,000 people in Tokyo Dome.
You can't beat that.
Hey,
Can't
can we take a 10 belt salute?
Yes.
Okay. I met George Foreman in 1993 at Caesar's Palace, WrestleMania 9. He was a guest there. And for some reason, we, spent a half hour together talking. And finally, I went over his boxing career. It's, one of the toughest guys in the business. And then he came out with the George Foreman thing, and he got reborn in the Lord Jesus, and he was great. When I mentioned that, my mom loved the George Foreman, the little grills.
Yeah, I have
He
one right
said
over
my
here.
mom, like every George Foreman grill they had, he was a sweetheart. So this is my picture of George Foreman and Fonzie. We just lost a national treasure in George Foreman. God bless
Absolutely.
him. So we're going to take it a few seconds of silence and remember George and Muhammad Ali and all the great fighters. There we go, baby.
Absolutely. Man, yeah, guys, if you have any thoughts about George Foreman and anything, share them in the chat. And really great stuff. I love
All
George.
right, George, we miss you, Daddy.
Miss you, George.
National treasure.
I didn't know till after the fact that he was a wrestling fan. I did not know.
Big wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Loved us. Loved us.
Wow, man. I know. What a champion too. He the winning the
Oh my
title at
goodness,
46
yeah.
years old. That's
Yeah.
how about that? Just crazy.
And he had that big fight, the same place where we had I think it was at Caesar's Palace. He had a big fight. I'm not sure for who it was, with Leanne Spinks or somebody. He beat the hell out of the guy. That's what we had WrestleMania 9 at Caesars, and that's why he
Yeah,
was there. He owned a bunch of restaurants and probably a couple condos, and he's just passing through. I love George Foreman.
that's awesome.
Big wrestling fan. There's so many celebrities that love wrestling.
Oh yeah. There's so many Fonzie. It's crazy. Like I've been trying to get an interview with Matthew McConaughey because I know he's a big wrestling fan.
I love
And
Matthew.
yeah, I know he loved Hacksaw Jim Duggan was his number one, but he also liked the Von Erichs. He loved the Von Erichs and stuff. So I'm trying to facilitate a way to get an interview with him, but we'll see what happens.
But here's an oddball that you wouldn't think would be a wrestling fan. You know Kara Alt, the famous supermodel, Kara Alt?
Oh, really?
She was Hulk Hogan had his Thunder in Paradise television series for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And Kara Alt was one of the sidekicks. They were crime fighters. So it was Kara Alt, Hulk Hogan, and Jack Lemon's son, Chris Lemon, with the three stars of the television series. And I did an episode on Hogan's Thunder in Paradise, and hung out with Carol, and she named all the wrestlers she grew up with, Junkyard Dog and all those. That was pretty cool.
Wow, look at that. That's awesome. Man.
Yeah, beautiful. Oh my God, she's beautiful.
It's crazy
too. One of my favorites.
It's crazy too. Like, I'm trying to think of other celebrities that are really big wrestling fans. That
Al Bundy, the Al Bundy show, and all
Ed
that.
O'Neill, yeah, Ed O'Neill.
Why do you think they called it the Bundys? His last name
because of King Kong Bundy. They named it. Yep.
Yeah.
And then the neighbors were the Rhodeses. So like
right.
Dusty. Yep.
It's all related. There was a documentary, and they talked about how they're big wrestling fans, and a couple of wrestlers won their series.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's very cool. Yeah, wrestling's big in the movie stars.
It covers everything. Like it's like all encompassing. People get into it and everything,
my wife Christine, my tall, beautiful, blonde Hungarian, she's a registered nurse, and she's been doing it quite a while. She's above. She should be a doctor. She's so good. But anyway, so say we go to a Christmas party.
Yeah.
And our doctor friends there, and then it's a pretty elite group of people. They're wealthy, they make good money, but they take care of people. Doctors give you operate heart transplants and so on. So I'm there, and I really don't fit in, but I fit in. And finally, after everybody, all the doctors put in each other, oh, how'd that heart surgery go together? Oh, great. Oh, how'd that transplant? Pretty cool. Then finally it comes around to me. And say, hey, Fonzie, what do you do for a living? I say, so I'm in the sports entertainment business.
Yeah.
And he says, sports entertainment, what's that? And I say one name. And everybody, I say, the biggest name in the business, I say, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And then they get it immediately. So now I'm the star of the party, because they want to know about Andre the Giant. They want to know about Lex Luger. They want to know about Sting. They want to know about Hogan, and they love it. So everybody's got their favorite. So from wrestlers and movie stars to doctors and lawyers, and look at the president of the United States come and hung out with us at Madison Square Gardens. Came right to the dressing room. Way before he was president. So everybody's a wrestling fan.
Right. There's so many wrestling fans. It's pretty neat to see how much of a net it casts, because You could go to any genre, whether it's NFL football, baseball,
Yes.
basketball. There's fans all over the grid when it comes to
And
toys.
we get a lot of NFL that wants to become a wrestler.
Yeah,
There's quite a few guys that played sports and they want to become a wrestler. Dr. Death Waves, a good example.
yeah.
Lex Luger, the list goes on and on.
Oh, list is yeah, it's just crazy stuff. All that kind of stuff. Um, Kyle has a couple of questions here.
Hey, Kyle, Daddy.
So he says, Fonzie Daddy, any memories of the Winnebago crawl?
Was that you talking
I
about
think he
Sabu's
means
Winnebago?
I think he's referencing Sabu's Winnebago. Any memories of the Sabu Winnebago right in there?
Yeah, so we were driving to a town. I was with Sabu and his wife Hitomi at the time, Japanese girl he married. Oh, and me and Van Damme went to his wedding in Tokyo. It was pretty cool.
Oh wow.
So we're driving, and Sabu had a Cadillac, and we're driving to the town, ECW, and he just out of the, he wasn't thinking about buying the Winnebago for 6 months. We were driving by and it said, sell Winnebago. So Sabu pulls in there and we pull out with a brand new Winnebago. He bought the Winnebago right there. Got a finance or whatever, but I got it, man. And he had it for a couple of years and great memories, man. We traveled in that thing. But remember, ECW, we only ran 2 days a week, Friday and Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Uh, so we'd fly into a town and jump into Winnebago and do the two shows. It's very cool, man. Very cool. Uh, and it did shuffle along. We partied in that thing and it was great. Accommodations for like 8 people was so big and badass.
Man.
I got a picture somewhere. Um, it was me, Sabu, and RVD in the Winnebago, and the caption says, if only if Winnebagos could talk.
Well, I think Rob told me that they would play video games in the Winnebago too and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, premature. Because remember, this was in the '90s.
This is in the
So
90s, right?
video games were just coming out.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So, oh yeah, man.
That's awesome.
And the Sabu's wife at the time had told me Japanese. Oh my God, we eat the best Japanese food, and we were all making money, having a great time, and she was a fantastic cook. So my
Man.
goodness, we were eating like kings. And a full kitchen, a
Right.
full kitchen. It
Yeah.
was I don't know if it was $1 million Winnebago, but it was a top of the line Winnebago.
Absolutely. Top of line kind of stuff. Yeah, right? Man, yeah,
Yes.
what good memories that would come out of
Thanks,
there.
Craig, for the memory. Was that Craig?
That was Kyle.
Okay, thanks, Al. Great question.
He's got another one too for
Kind
you.
of gave you the answer, but
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. Kyle asks, Fonzie, what was a potato that got RVD major heat? Was there a strike or anything that happened in a match that you remember that got RVD some heat back in the day?
No, RVD wasn't. He wasn't stiff. RVD would take most of the impact and most of the stuff. And no, you work with RVD. Potatoes when he hit somebody hard.
Yeah.
If it was an accident or on purpose. But and hey, it happens in sports entertainment. It's the wrestling business. If you can't take a potato once in a while, get the fuck out of the business. But
That's it.
and that was a little snug. It
Yeah.
was a little snug. We wanted to, and Van Dam would take absorb the most of the impact. Kind of that fantastic. Nobody does a 5-star frog splash like RVD. Off the top rope doing that big thing. He takes most of the impact and tries to take care of the guy the best he can. But and does that spin kick, the Van Daminator with the spin kick into the chair to the face. My God, yeah, he was stiff and potatoes, but usually it wouldn't cause any problem. No, because it's expected. It's
That's the name of
expected
the
in the
game kind of
business.
thing.
And I've seen Van Dam take so many potatoes, so many stitches, and Fonzie too. Even this last year, I broke my arm. No, I broke 3 ribs, broke my nose, and I got 22 stitches here, there. You get potatoes once in a while. They don't mean to kill you, but it happens.
Yeah. So that was this past year that happened, Fonzie?
Yeah, last year, I
Wow.
got 3 broken ribs, broke my nose, and I probably got uh, probably uh, 10 to 15 stitches. 3 here, this week
Yeah.
in May, I got 6 there, over here. You get busted open.
You're right. Frank and Fonzie.
So pretty cool, Daddy.
Yeah, yeah,
Pretty cool.
pretty cool indeed. Um, cool. No, that's a pretty intriguing stuff. When yeah, no, that's the thing too. Is like Rob would tell some stories about like where I think he was wrestling Pitbull. I can't remember which
Okay.
Pitbull, but he accidentally cracked him really hard with a chair, and
Oh, yeah.
he thought he was gonna be in trouble, and said like he apologized to him, and he's like, and Pitbull was like, "Oh, that's okay, Rob." He's like, "You didn't do it on purpose, did you?" And Rob was like, "No," and he's like, "All right, yeah, they're good." It's like
Right,
that kind of thing.
right,
Yeah.
right. And the guys would get a little frustrated, and nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody
Right.
wants to get 3 broken ribs. Nobody wants to get a broken nose, but it happens. It's
Yeah.
just the nature of the business.
Yeah.
We don't try to hurt each other intentionally. That's a word, because we got to work 7 days. But how are you going to work with broken ribs? But we table them up and go.
Okay,
Well, so I
exactly it.
broke my arm. We were at ECW. I was with Sandman. I can't forget the other 2 wrestlers, but and we were based out of Tampa, and we had shows in Louisiana. For some reason, we decided to drive.
Right.
Me said because it's only like an 8-hour drive, and we are going to be there 3 days: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then drive home. So the last night of being on the road, and Sandman was drinking, everybody was partying and shit. So but not during the match. So somehow I broke my arm, the smaller bone in my arm. I broke it so bad that they ended up having to put a steel plate and 12 screws and all that. So I broke my arm in Louisiana,
Wow.
and they wanted to do the surgery there, put the steel plate and all that. I said, well, can you gimmick and just put some type of cast on it? I'll drive home, and then I'll have the surgeon in Tampa so I can do it, so I can have to follow up, and so on and so on. Instead of having it done on the spot in Louisiana. It's
Right.
pretty serious shit. So um, they gimmicked my arm up with some type of cast, just enough to get me home, because this was on a Sunday, and I'd be home Monday morning. Drive all night and be home Monday. Sandman was so fucked up. I end up driving the 8 hours by myself while these guys fucking passed out in the car. So I get home, and then Monday's a holiday, so there's
Oh,
no surgery. So I had to wait till Tuesday to get it, and I end up uh, getting a steel plate. And if you can see the scar, it's pretty nice scar.
oh,
But shit happens, shit happens.
yeah.
And I
Wow.
didn't complain. The guy didn't break my arm on purpose. It was, just stuff happens.
The nature of the business, right?
Yeah, the beast of the business.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And
Speaking of
it ain't
beats, Bam
ballet.
Bam Bigelow, one of my favorite big guys, and One Man Gang.
Yeah,
Badass. I'll give a shout out to those 2 guys.
man. Yeah, I love Bam Bam. Bam Bam was awesome. So
Yes,
cool.
he was.
hmm Who was it? Oh, Sandman. It was Sandman told this story. That he told the story of when Bam Bam told him about the time Andre the Giant straightened him out. Because, yeah, Sandman, there he is right there. I got to get me that figure. But he told the story about how Bam Bam told him that Andre the Giant, I guess Bam Bam was having a big ego or whatever, and Andre the Giant had set him straight. And it kind of put things in perspective for Bam Bam back in the day.
That happens. That
Yep.
happens. And, some guys get well, probably Bam Bam thought he was Bam Bam Bigelow that night. You know what I
Right.
mean? He's a big tough guy, but Andre, God bless him, straightened him out. Not in a longevity way, just that night.
Right. Oh, yeah,
Just
for
that
sure.
night, something happened, and yeah, I've seen it happen multiple times.
Multiple
I've seen it
times.
happen more. Well, let's see. You remember a guy named Buck Robley?
It sounds familiar.
Back in the day, he was Bill Watts' guy. He was not a main event guy, but he was a middle guy, back in the territory days. So we were doing TV, in Florida, 106 North Albany for Florida Championship Wrestling back in the day.
Yeah.
And we would tape TV in the morning with two 1 hour shows. So all the TV guys are there, and the Mulligan's sitting down in the chair while watching the monitor. And Buck Robley walks in and says, "Hey, Mulligan, you got any speed?" You know, the pill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mulligan doesn't say anything. He says, "Hey, don't kayfabe me. Everybody knows you're the biggest speedhead in the business." And he was, and maybe, we take something to keep you going. You had a fucking 6 hour drive home from Miami that night. So, so Mulligan didn't say anything, and Buck Robley kept walking, and he kind of embarrassed Mulligan, and Barry and Kendall Wyndham. Barry was there. Barry Wyndham was in the dressing room while watching the monitor, and Kendall Wyndham was just breaking into business. So Kendall was there. So he said that in front of his kids, plus all the other wrestlers. You don't
Wow.
say something like that.
Yeah. No.
So Buck Robley goes to the next dressing room, and you see Mulligan get up, and he follows him into the other dressing room and closes the door. And all you hear is bouncing on. He beat the fuck out of Robley for a couple of minutes, and that was it. And that was the end of the story.
Yeah.
Uh, Mulligan trained the guy out for being stupid. You don't say shit like that. That's like,
No.
you know, well, now it's different because marijuana is legal. You're like, "Hey, Van Dam, you got a joint?" "Oh, yeah, it's legal now," but you don't say shit. Anyway, pretty cool.
Yeah. Pretty neat. Were you
Mulligan beat the fuck out of him.
were you around when that fight happened between Mulligan and Andre? Like
No,
no?
no,
Okay.
but
Okay.
two big guys. But Andre, I think, had had the final outcome.
If I had the yeah, he had the final
Yeah,
round
sorry
about
to beat Andre.
yeah, it's hard to
Andre was the only guy to allowed to drink in the dressing room. He drank his wine and stuff. And uh, I was kind of in charge, like when Florida Championship Wrestling was a territory, and would bring in the specialty people for they'd make the loop. Like they would bring in Moolah and the girls for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they'd go 6 weeks later. They'd bring in the midgets, Little
yeah.
Tokyo, and guys like that. They come in for the week and do the show, and then they'll leave. Then they bring in the world champion, whoever it was at the time, for the week, like Harley Race, Dory Funk, Jack Briscoe, or Ric Flair. They'd work the loop for the week and go to different territory. And then, like Abdullah the Butcher, all these specialty items. And usually it would be the referee's job to get these guys to the show. And I was assigned to all these guys. Are you kidding me? It was a pleasure to hanging out with Rick. I was with Ric Flair for 7 days a week, in the loop. And with Andre, they bring in Andre for the loop. They bring in Fabulous Moolah for the loop. The midgets. I brought the Little Tokyo. He's a ref. You Google him, Little Tokyo in the '80s. He was a big star Japanese kid, but a midget. And I brought him home to my mom. Uh, oh my God, she loved them. I brought a lot of cool people to see my mom and my grandmother. We all lived in Florida, so that was pretty cool. But how we get on the subject? But the subject was we'd bring in these top talents, and they'd come and go for they come in for the weekend, go, and then it's on and on. The girls, the midgets, the champion, Abdullah the Butcher, all these different draws, that would draw people.
Yeah, Andre was one of those big guys too that would come in, like yeah, but to any territory because I remember seeing footage of him in like World Class, making stops there and all over the place. Look at that photo right there. Heck yeah, man.
1981, I was 23 years old. Andre, so this picture was taken at Miami Beach Convention Center, which we ran every Wednesday for the 10 years I was with Florida Championship Wrestling. Then I went to WCW. But so Andre was in the turn. He was beating somebody up in the turnbuckle and said, "Break, break, break, Andre!" And he stepped backwards. And I told the story on my podcast before. He stepped back and he stepped on my foot. He stepped on the top part of my foot,
Oh man.
right here. You
Oh
see that?
man.
He
Oh, that's
stepped right
right up
there,
there.
and um, and it still hurts for sec. I think he cracked that top bone there. We didn't know it at the time, so once or twice a year, my foot would swell up and something a little bit. And I thought it was the gout. I went to the doctor and said, "Hey, I think I got gout because every once in a while my foot swells up a little bit." So they looked into it and they X-rayed it. So they said, "You have an old injury there." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Oh, you got a cracked hairline fracture in the top bone in your foot." So the only thing I can think of was that's where Andre stepped on it. So my point is, Andre the Giant stepped on my foot in 1981, and it still hurts today.
My goodness.
And that's
Wow.
a true story.
How about that? That's crazy, Fonzie. Jeez.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that not everybody
while
can say Andre the Giant stepped on their foot. That's for sure.
right, I got one more story where you get potatoed. You want to hear it
Okay.
real quick?
Yeah,
So we're
absolutely.
Greensboro, North Carolina, sold out at the Greenboro Convention Center. The main event was Wahoo McDaniel, who was on fire, a big superstar, Indian superstar, Wahoo McDaniel, against Sergeant Slaughter in the main event in Greensboro, North Carolina. So the finish of the match was, they're going back and forth, and the finish is Sergeant Slaughter rose out of the ring. Miles making his big comeback, beating the fuck out of Slaughter, takes the powder. He grabs the belt, rolls back in, and it's gonna. So Sergeant Slaughter rolls back in the ring with the heavyweight belt,
Right?
and Wahoo kicks him in the gut, grabs the belt.
Wow.
So he goes to hit Slaughter with the belt. Slaughter moves, and Wahoo hits the referee, which was me.
Yeah.
But Slaughter's so big that Wahoo couldn't see me behind him. Wahoo's gonna go hit him like this, and Slaughter moved, and he hits the referee. I DQ him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But Slaughter's so big, Wahoo couldn't see me. So when Slaughter moved and he hits me in the blind, and he doesn't hit me like this. He hits me with this part right
Oh.
here.
Ah, okay.
Boom. And
Ooh.
bust me open, the concussion. They had to rush me to the hospital, and I got 40 staples and stitches right here.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. And
Man,
it was an accident. Anyone didn't mean to hurt me, but stuff happens in the ring, man.
that's it. Stuff does happen.
Yeah, yeah, that was for Jim Crockett Mid Atlantic Wrestling, back in the day, and I got potato, and I didn't complain. I wanted to say, "Damn, fuck," but what are you gonna do? The circumstances was, well, couldn't see me. He's coming in blind with a hit. It cracks me open. What am I gonna do?
What are you gonna do, right?
Go
Yeah.
get stitches and work the next day.
Work the next
I
day.
think they gave me a couple of days off.
Yeah. Dang.
I had to recuperate. I got, I had a concussion.
Right. Oh man. Yeah, Wahoo was awesome though. Like what a
Oh,
great
beautiful.
as a heel, great as a baby face.
Yes, I got a great picture of me and Wahoo somewhere. Yeah, man. I got
Man,
pictures of so many guys. Can you imagine, Dominic, that I got to work with guys when I started full time? I was trying to break into business in 1978, and I was, worked for Joe Blanchard, Paul Bosch, the Funks, but their own referees there.
right.
David Manning and Bronco Lubitsch and all these guys. So there wasn't a spot for me. So I came to Florida and was lucky to get a full time job. Uh, then what was my point here?
Well, we were talking about Wahoo and how great of a
Oh
baby
yeah,
face and
so
heel he was.
yeah,
Mhm.
so I got to work with guys like Wahoo McDaniel. They're finishing up there. I'm just breaking into business. I'm fucking 21 years old. I'm breaking into business, and these guys have been in the business already for 25 years, wrestling So I got to work at the tail end of the careers of Bobo Brazil,
Oh
uh,
man.
Mil Mascaras, Wahoo McDaniel, all these guys, So it's thrilling. Then the next generation was Dusty and all that. Then the next generation was the Barry Windhams and Shawn Michaels and those guys, Bret Hart. Then, then the newer guys, and the list goes on and on. But I was so lucky. I've been through like 4 or 5 generations of wrestlers. It was
Yeah,
crazy. I was so lucky to be uh, working with these guys, man. It's crazy.
man.
And I'm a dying breed.
Man, yeah, and you got so many stories, and you've been part of so many different promotions, major promotions, all the major promotions you can think of. It's really, really cool to see all that, Fonzie. And
Here's Wahoo McDaniel right here.
yeah,
Wahoo McDaniel, you can barely see Wahoo. Kevin Sullivan, who we lost this year too.
yep,
And Fonzie calling it right down the middle. That's in the early 80s in Florida.
heck yeah, what a great photo that is. Dang,
So I was so lucky, so fortunate to get to work with these guys. My goodness, man.
Fonzie, you should bring the mustache back.
You know, if
Yeah,
I mind, Daddy.
why not bring it back? I think you should bring it back. That's the
Hey,
senior official mustache.
hey, we're all trying to break into the business, and they're looking. Paul Heyman's just breaking into business.
You're right. Look at that, huh?
Young Paul Heyman and Fonzie.
Yeah, right after he got chokeslammed by Scott Hall.
Yes, Daddy.
Yeah,
Yes. Then I get to work with the tallest athlete on the planet. It was thrilling. You know, I'm not short by no means. Hulk Hogan's super tall. He's like 6'6" or 6'7" or something.
yeah,
But
yeah,
look how Giant Gonzalez. He was the tallest athlete on the planet at that time. Then
yeah.
Ming came along and played for the Houston Rockets, but uh, Giant Gonzalez was the tallest athlete on the planet for a while. Get to work with guys like that. My goodness, what a career I've had. I've been lucky. Right place at the right time, Daddy.
Heck yeah.
And you got to have a little talent too.
Absolutely, you do. You definitely do. Yeah, and like you got to have that connection with people, and you got that good connection with not just the wrestlers and the people that you work with in the business, but the fans too. And so, if you have that, that's an
I
innate.
can pull up multiple pictures, Dominic. I got a guy that just came up to me and said, "Hey, Fonzie, I met you back," and I said, "Okay, how you doing?" So he shows me a picture of this little kid, 6 years old,
Uh
and
huh.
now this guy's a grown man. He's got kids of his own. He's like 42 years old. He's a grown man. Shows me a picture of him when me and him when he was a little kid.
How about that? That's awesome. That's got to
That's
be really
pretty
cool to
cool.
see. Mm,
I
that's got to
get
be
that
really.
all the time, and I get things like, "Oh, Fonzie, I met you in 1986. You stopped and spoke with us for about 15 minutes going to your car, and you put us over." And so that's pretty flattering. But it's a good thing I was good to these kids. Can you imagine if I walked by and said, "Fuck you"? You
Yeah,
know what I mean? But I'd stop and
and
talk to people and
that's the
put
way
them
to do it.
over. It's easy to put people over.
Well, that's the thing too. George Foreman, I remember seeing an interview with him that he said, he was such an angry person when he was a boxer, an angry person, and then he's like, I finally realized how nice it was to be nice to people, and thinking about all that stuff. What a great picture that is, Fonzie. That's an awesome. You'll have to send me that picture, like a screenshot of that picture, and I'll make it the cover for this week's episode. I think I'll make it.
Oh,
So
great. And
yeah,
then in conjunction with us losing a national treasure, I think he
yes.
was a national treasure like Muhammad Ali.
Absolutely, he was 100%.
My two favorite boxers of all time, Muhammad Ali and George Foreman.
Did you ever get to meet Muhammad Ali?
No, I wish
No.
I would have, but I worked. I felt like I met him because Miami Beach Convention Center, um, Angelo Dundee
Uh huh.
was Muhammad Ali's guy.
Yes.
You know the name?
Yes, I do.
So
Yep.
Angelo Dundee, his brother ran the Miami Beach Convention Center. That was his building.
Oh,
So I felt like I was tied in with Muhammad Ali. Plus, he was my childhood. He was one of my heroes growing up.
yeah. Yeah.
You
Oh, he
know,
was.
and of thousands of millions of people know Muhammad Ali. He
Yeah,
was
he's one
bigger
of my.
than boxing. Muhammad Ali was bigger than boxing.
100%. Yes, he was absolutely. He was a wrestling fan too. You know.
Oh, yes, he was. He
Hmm.
did something with Gorilla Monsoon back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
He sure did. Back in the day, I can't recall. I don't want to put out stuff, not true, but he did something with Gorilla. He did say slam. Something happened with Gorilla Monsoon. It was a work, of course,
Yeah.
uh,
Absolutely.
back
Yeah.
in the day. You
Well, there
know.
was also he always credited Gorgeous George, the original Gorgeous George, for where
Oh,
he learned his promo style and
you're 100% right. The flamboyancy got it.
yeah.
Yes, and
Mm.
he's made that perfectly clear about. Yes,
Yeah.
he sure
Then
did.
on top of it too, Jake the Snake tells a story about how he had to like be in the ring with Muhammad Ali, and they did a spot where like Muhammad Ali hit Jake, and they wanted Jake to like sell the knockout or something like that.
Right.
But Jake, wanted to protect himself and protect a little bit of the business. He just sold it like he got punched like really hard, but did not sell the whole knockout, which is pretty funny too. So pretty cool stuff. I love
Yeah, we
Muhammad
got to
Ali.
protect ourselves to a certain
Yeah.
degree, But hey, if the Vince McMahon tells you to fucking stand in that corner for 6 minutes during the match and do this, you got to do it.
Yeah, yeah, it's the name of the
You
game,
know,
right?
you can adjust a little bit to it, but you don't have to
Yeah,
be a kiss ass. But hey, that's your job. That's
pick
your
and
job is to do this flip in the ring and do this and that and get the guy over. But
absolutely. Yeah, pick and choose your moments for sure when you wanna do
yes.
certain things and stuff. We have a couple more questions here we'll get
Oh, good,
to.
Daddy, good. Hey,
Yeah.
question away.
So we had 2 episodes on this, 2 whole episodes, but I'll get Fonzie's to tell a story here. This is from the Polaris Post. He says, "What was your most memorable moment or experience while working with Giant Gonzalez, and how did that relationship influence your career?" So there you go.
Excuse me. Well, um, Hiro Matsuda calls me up. This is right before I signed with Japan with WCW, because Hiro Matsuda was part owner of Florida Championship Wrestling, and he loved me because I worked under, these legends, Gordon Soley, Dusty, Eddie Graham, the Funks, all this, and I was really good. Back then, you would do 60-minute time limit Broadways, we would call them Broadways, and I'd referee all the main events and so on and so on. So um, the match in Tokyo was Flair and Fujinami at the Tokyo Dome, 65,000 people main event for the world title, and then they wanted me to referee the match. Uh, and I did really good at it. And Dusty said, "It's gonna happen for you, baby. It's gonna happen for you. I'm gonna have Jody Hamilton call you up Monday when we're in Tokyo in a cab going back to the Keo Plaza Hotel. Dusty's giving me a job. He's hiring me right there on the spot. It's gonna happen for you, baby." So I started refereeing in WCW, and Giant Gonzalez was there, just graduating his training and all that, and he needed a handler. And I spoke a little bit of Spanish. Everybody assumes that I speak perfectly good Spanish, and I don't. I was born and raised here, so are my parents, but Alfonso. So Dusty says, "Hey, we want you to be Giant Gonzalez's personal assistant, and wherever he goes, you go." We were working 300 days a year back then. So they hired me to be the referee, first of all. Then they thought it'd be a good idea for me to take care of Giant Gonzalez. So they paid me a couple extra, they paid me extra to take care of him, plus a Cadillac for 365 days a year. Uh, so there was quite a few episodes with Giant Gonzalez. The women loved him, and he really wasn't a really polished wrestler. He didn't get it. Even though he was an athlete, he didn't get. He's so funny. He couldn't do this. He couldn't do that. They built him as 8 foot. He was like 7'7", a 22 shoe. It was actually a giant, and he didn't have that Giants disease. He had the Giants disease, but like Andre, his jaw was protruding, his forehead was getting bigger. Giant Gonzalez didn't have that starting yet. He's only, in
He
his
was young.
30s.
Yeah.
So the disease didn't start taking effect until later. So anyway, the women loved him. And in the ring, he didn't have to wrestle. People wanted to just see and amaze at this God's gift. This guy's 8 foot tall,
Yeah.
crazy. So, uh, we're traveling the world. We go to Japan. We go all over the place. We go to Europe. We're on these tours, every major arena in the United States. And the women, the boys liked him. He was a really nice guy, humble, comes from a poor background. He used to pick cotton. His no shoes when he was growing up. His feet are flat. Anyway, it was amazing when we'd go into Denny's or a late breakfast place late at night after the show's over, and he'd order 12 scrambled eggs, 8 sausages. Ordered big. It was crazy. Uh, and the women loved him because he was a good looking kid. He was just, we going, and now I'm not talking about the wrestling girls that come to wrestling. I'm talking about the girls that, like in the mall, the housewives. We'd be walking around the mall and say Philadelphia, and women would be following Giant Gonzalez and me. Uh, they were just curious. And so I get a phone call. You remember the Atlanta Braves were winning World Series? They won like
Oh,
two or
they were
three
really good.
World Series. So
Yeah, yeah.
this
Back
is a
then.
perk. This is a perk that I got, not a Percocet, a perk. So I wish I had a Percocet, but anyway. So I get a phone call and it says, Fonzie. I said yes. He said Ted Turner. I said, hey, Mr. Turner, I'm working for him. I'm in WCW.
Right.
So he says, hey, I got a favor to ask you. I said, yes, sir. He said, I want you to go to the Braves game, and well, you're going to be sitting where me and Jimmy Carter would sit in my big booth, my presidential. I own the fucking, the $30 billion team.
Right.
Uh, and the camera's going to pan over to you guys and say, hey, the Braves are doing so good. It brings the largest athlete on the planet to a Braves game. It just pans over. Just publicity.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. It was one of the perks that you get. Another one was uh, him and I never split a room. We'd stay at the Marriott, but I'd be in room 201 and he'd be room in 202, right next to each other. We were making money. We don't got to split a room.
Sure.
So Jack Gonzalez would call me all the time at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, Fonzie, could you please go to McDonald's? They're open 24 hours and give me uh, 5 Big Macs and 2 fish fillets. I said, okay, that's my job to go,
Sure.
to go get. So I'd go and give him his stuff. And good night, Giant. So I get a phone call one night. I think I might have told you this story. You might had to hear it. It's a famous story.
Yes. But you can
So,
go ahead. It's a good one.
well, evidently this kid hasn't heard it. What's his name?
This was
Questionnaire.
what's it? Something Polaris the Post.
Okay. So, uh, so I get a phone call. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're done with the show. We ate, and John Gonzalez said, Fonzie, hey, can you come to my room? I said, okay. I'll be there in 4 minutes. So I'm thinking he wants me to go to Waffle House and get him 12 eggs and bacon and toast and all that. So I knock on his door. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. He answers the door. He's completely naked. Now he looks like he's a fucking giant. I look at him and say, Giant, why are you naked? Answer the door. He says, I got a problem. I said, what's the problem, Gonzalez? He opens the door a little bit more, and there's a blonde girl naked in the bed. Right?
Yeah.
This is a true story.
Yeah.
And she looked like Pamela. She wasn't an arena girl, like a wrestling girl. He had met her at the mall that day. Beautiful, looked like Pamela Anderson. I said, Giant, what's the problem? He says, well, the problem is, and she's naked as a jaybird, beautiful. Uh, and he says, the problem is my junk is so fat, I can't get inside her. He said, what I want you to do is, please, I want you to jump on her and pump her a little bit and get her wet, and then you leave. And I'm turning red. I'm embarrassing the girl in the bed naked, Pamela Anderson lookalike. Say, "Oh, please help us, Fonzie. Please help us." I said, "Okay." I was embarrassed as hell, so I jump on this beautiful blonde girl and I pump her up a little bit, and I leave. So what a great story.
Right.
Who would believe things like that? So my job that night was warming up a girl for Giant Gonzalez.
How about that? Such a great story.
And that's a true story. True
Yeah.
story.
Wow, look at this. Somebody just showed up to. He's like, late to the party, but what's up, fellas? You missed quite the story, John. He just popped in, so you'll have to go back and listen to that there, John. Listen to that when you get to the
So unusual stuff, and
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
we'd get pulled over. I wasn't speeding, but we get pulled over by the police,
Right?
and they would recognize. So they said, "Hey, we pulled you over, so we just want to see Giant Gonzalez. Can he have him get out of the car and take pictures of the tallest hat? With the cops, pretty cool, you
Yeah.
know." All kind of perks with Giant Gonzalez. We'd go to the restaurant, and instead of standing in line or something, we'd go right to the front, and they'd take us back in the kitchen and show us how the steaks are done, give them the biggest steak, let us cook, and we went to Tony Luke's and the Philly
Yeah, I
cheesesteak
love
places, and they had us
Yeah.
back there cooking and shit, and gave Giant Gonzalez like 15 just Philly cheesesteaks. And
Oh,
just
Fonzie, you
food.
there?
Yeah, I'm here.
We lost Fonzie. He's frozen.
Oh no,
Oh,
no.
you're good. You're good. Go ahead
Okay,
now.
sorry,
That's
Daddy.
okay.
So they'd give us all. We get so much free stuff, and we never asked for nothing. We're making money so we can pay for our own stuff.
Yeah.
But hey, if they want to give it to us, then we don't have a problem with that. And Giant Gonzalez loved it.
That's it. That's
All the
it.
but they don't only have double X at the biggest, and Giant Gonzalez is like 5X or something. So
Right.
I got loaded with T-shirts. Giant Gonzalez, nothing to fit them.
Yeah, that's the tough
We
thing
used to
about
have
it.
to remember a place called Big and Tall.
Oh, yeah.
It was a store outlet,
Yep.
and we would
Absolutely.
go in there and get clothes for Giant Gonzalez. He had a 22 shoe.
22 shoot, man. I can't even fathom
Yeah, I
that.
got some stuff with Giant Gonzalez, like
I could fit one of my shoes probably in his shoes.
right.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 9,
Oh, let's take a look at that. Boom. Look at that.
Caesar's Palace, Giant Gonzalez and The Undertaker. You remember Giant Gonzalez wasn't a 5-star worker in the ring. He could barely get by. The people wanted to just see his size. And God bless The Undertaker. Thank you, Undertaker, for working with him and doing,
Doing
at
the favor and
WrestleMania
help him
9.
out. Not doing the favors, but help him out. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And Mark, Undertaker's of one of the biggest stars in WWE
Yeah, absolutely. What a
ever,
legend.
ever.
What a legend for sure. So,
Yeah.
we'll take one more question. Let me find where it's at here. It's a good one. It's by Jem the Don, who got to meet you at Only Wrestlers, at the Only Wrestlers show.
Oh, in Los Angeles last week.
Yeah, he got to see you there and meet you and stuff like that. And so he said thank you for that. But he
I
also,
hope I was good to him and didn't spit on him.
oh no, he said, "What's up, to Fonzie? Good to meet you at the OWA event, Daddy." So that's what he said there.
Nice. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming and being a part of our first live show, onlywrestlers.com. Thank you so much for coming. And please keep supporting us. And you're going to have a hell of a time. This thing is blowing up. It's going to be great. Onlywrestlers.com and RVD, the whole effing show is a big part of it. So am I. And so is a ton of wrestlers and people from all over the world. Like 7 different countries, people have already joined up in this. They love it.
Absolutely. 100%.
Onlywrestlers.com, Daddy.
Onlywrestlers.com. Sign on up. So this is the question you ask, and this is a good one. Fonzie,
Okay.
what's your favorite piece of RVD memorabilia that you own? Do you have a favorite piece of RVD merch?
I got so many pictures and stuff with RVD.
What's the one that stands out to you, though, a lot that you really cherish? Is there a certain one?
There's so many RVD. Just being a part of like RVD, ECW magazine, and being a part of it. And, uh, making so many.
Yeah, that's a classic photo there.
Uh, yeah, RVDs. We were in High Times magazine.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So there's five people who decide who's going to be on the cover. So they called RVD and said, "Hey, we want to do a photo shoot." And RVD said, "Yeah, me, Sabu, and Fonzie." Okay. So they came to Philadelphia, and there was like three production guys and several different cameras and all that. And we shoot it. So who decides to be on the cover? There's five guys who decide. So three voted Ozzy Osbourne, and then two voted for RVD. So Ozzy got the cover, but
Yeah.
we got like a big spread, like a 4-page spread. And of course, I'm in the spread. It was really cool. So here. Let me grab the picture.
Sure.
This was going to be on the cover, but Ozzy got the cover, and we got a 3-page spread. So this was going to be the picture of the cover.
Yeah, how
But
great.
this is
Oh
in the
man.
magazine,
Yeah, look at that. Peace, love, and the pile driver. I like it.
right, Daddy? What a
Yeah.
great picture, and what a great honor for me to be in High Times magazine, brother. Are you
Heck
kidding
yeah.
me? A
Heck yeah.
3-page spread with RVD, and we got paid for it. Uh, they gave us. We did a photo shoot in Philadelphia in the dressing room. They sealed it all off for us and stuff. They gave us each an ounce of pot of the best pot on the planet known to mankind. Oh my God! It was so. And I'm not RVD. Like RVD's a big
Yeah,
consumer of the
yeah.
TNC and loves it. I can't keep up with RVD, but
Who can?
uh, that's pretty cool to be involved with RVD. And some of the great matches. Here's the 3-page spread of they talk about wrestling and marijuana
Yeah.
and all that. Pretty cool. Uh, so some of the great matches that I was involved in with RVD. He's the longest reigning television champion in history. Here's the belt right here.
Yep.
The one he held for 2 years, 4 months, 27 days, and 16 hours. We held this belt. Finally, we dropped it because RVD was going other places. But such great matches with Bam Bam Bigelow, Jerry, whoever RVD worked with, we sold the show. RVD was that talented. He had these and coming with all these new things like the Van Terminator, jump from the top rope all the way across the ring, me holding the chair. Great stuff, man. Great matches. RVD is one of a kind.
No doubt about it.
Uh,
Uh,
and still to this day, me and RVD are very close friends. We just spent 3 days together and with his wife and Katie Forbes, one of the top 10 most beautiful girls on the planet. And I mean that she's really pretty
she is. Yeah, absolutely.
and so cool. She's
So
very
cool.
cool.
So cool.
Uh, so just being around RVD and him still putting me over.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna be with him in Las Vegas,
Can't
Daddy.
wait. Can't wait.
Dominic,
Yep.
Fonzie, Las Vegas, WrestleMania, Daddy, backstage, good food. It's gonna happen,
Can't beat it.
Daddy.
Can't beat it. Yeah,
Great
Fonzie.
question.
Great question. Fonzie, here's a real quick one too. Did you ever obviously you managed RVD. Did you ever referee a match with RVD?
You know what? Before me and Van Dam got together, I probably did because Paul Heyman brought me in May of 1995.
Uh-huh.
I just left WWF.
Right.
WWF 90. I was on the first Monday Night Raw.
Oh, I remember you talking. We gotta do an episode of that. We have to do
Yeah, I
that.
did the first Monday Night Raw. I did Marty Jannetty beat Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental, and I was refereeing on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Uh, um, yeah, so I just my contract expired with WWF.
Right.
And for some reason, they didn't renew it because business was down. And Vince came up to me and said, "Fonzie, we're not going to renew your contract. but we're gonna give you a severance pay, and when it picks back up, we're gonna call you and you're gonna come back with us.
Okay.
I said, thank you. And he said, meanwhile, you live in Florida. When we run Florida shows, we're going to have you referee the matches in Florida. I
Okay.
said, okay, great. And Vince honored as well. I love Vince McMahon. He was so good to me. Some people don't like him, but fuck those people. He was good to me. Uh, so Paul Heyman called me, and I haven't talked to Paul in a couple of years. You know, you see
Right.
that picture that I showed you with me with Paul Heyman, then it became a big star. You know, so
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
a phone call. It's Paul Heyman. Hey, Fonzie, it's Paul Heyman. Hey, Paul, how you doing? We haven't talked to him for years. He said, listen, I have this company in Philadelphia. It's called ECW. I said, what the fuck's an ECW? I've only worked for WWF, WCW, Pro Championship Wrestling. I've never worked an indie show in my fucking life, you
Yeah.
know? He said, well, with this startup company, we're hardcore. I have this idea. Since Vince McMahon wants the doctor, his wife, and the two kids at ringside, uh, is sports entertainment, and ECW's the audience is 90% male, the age of 18 to 32, hardcore, blood, guts, tables, and chairs. He said, I want to bring you in for 4 weeks, and you be anti ECW trying to make it like WWE. You
Yeah.
know, you come in and change their. So I was ruining the fans' party. People wanted to kill me, so my gimmick got over. You know,
Yeah.
and then at the end of the 4 weeks, I get choke slam, and then I'm out, and then I go about my way, and the company keeps going. But my gimmick got over. I got so much heat. Paul Heyman thought it'd be a good idea for me to become a manager
Wow. Yeah.
with the whistle and all that. Um, so I end up turning into manager, and they put me with Taz, and Taz got over, but he really not got over big because he had 4 or 5 different gimmicks. He was Monkey Boy, he was Tasmania, he was this, he was that. He didn't get over till it became Taz.
Right.
Became
Right.
himself. Taz is a grumpy old motherfucker anyway, but it fit his gimmick.
Sure.
He became himself, and we got, so when I walked into the dressing room in ECW my first night, they brought me in. There was Sandman, Tommy Dreamer, Taz, Mikey, all these guys. I didn't know one person.
Oh
I said,
yeah.
who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
the fuck is who's that guy that I didn't know anybody. I'm used to walking in the dressing room and there's, Harley Race and Ric Flair and Dusty and this guy and Shawn Michaels and Brett the Hitman and Hulk Hogan. That's what I'm used to. I didn't know
Right.
one guy in the fucking dressing room, but Paul Heyman made that company what it is, and we were a big part of the business. And from '95 to we closed on until Vince bought us out. So ECW is very good to me. So what was the question? I hope I answered it.
If you ever refereed a match with RVD instead
So
of me.
yeah, so at the beginning they brought me in a referee, and after 4 weeks I was gonna get choked slammed by 911 and I was out, but they brought Van Dam in and I refereed a little bit, so nothing spectacular, not
Yeah.
but they ended up taking me away from Taz because Taz didn't need me. He could talk and do his promos, so they put me with Sabu, and of course Sabu and Van Dam were connected, so
Sure. Yeah.
it's a natural fit. So I don't really think I refereed any of Van Dam's matches. Didn't need to because I was
Yeah.
right there managing them.
You're managing them, and
Yeah.
Sid Ahmed Bischoff says it too. With such a great personality, it's only natural that you became a manager. So no doubt about that.
Well, I didn't. I was a referee for all these years, Joe. I mean, Dominic. So you'd think it'd be a natural, a natural fit,
Progression.
and it
Yeah.
was. But I couldn't do promos.
Right.
How many, refereeing for 25 years. How many promos did I do? 10 or 15. Oh yeah, he threw him over the top rope, so disqualification. Cut dry. Uh, so they had me start doing these promos, and I couldn't spit them out.
Right.
I couldn't spit them out yet.
Yet.
So I said, Paul, I'm having trouble doing these promos. He said, Fonzie, treat it like a shoot. You know you're going to be in Philadelphia on March 25th. You know you're wrestling Sandman. You know it's going to be cold. You know it's in the ECW arena. He said, just tell the truth. And, and I said, okay. He said, hey, Daddy, March 25th at the ECW arena, it's going to be ice cold, but it's going to be so hot that ring when Van Dam kicked Sandman's ass. So, all I had to do was tell the truth. Now I want to take Fonzie.
One take, Fonzie. That's it, Daddy.
So I'm really good at what I do now. And I just didn't know how to do it. Boy said, treat it like it's real.
Yes,
Treat it
absolutely.
like it's you. Say, hey, you're going to be there January 25th to work around, So pretty cool.
Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome, Fonzie. And it's pretty awesome to do this. We do this we try to do it every other, at least once a month. We try to do it, I guess, on average.
Yes.
At least once a month. But we'll now that you gave me some ideas, we'll have to talk about the first episode of Raw, being a part of that.
Yes. We can even go back and look at the footage. Look at the footage and stuff.
We'll have to watch it. Yeah, maybe what we can do is we'll watch it on our own, because we can't play the footage live on here because we'll get a copyright flag. But if we watch
they may let me do it since I'm on the match.
They might, but usually still with a channel, they might flag it. YouTube kind of flags it anyway.
Why take a chance? Why take a chance?
So what we'll have to each watch the episode, and then we can talk about some of the aspects. Okay. Would be a good
idea. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And can I show you some of my stuff that I'm going to bring to
absolutely,
WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Next month, April 17th, 18th, and 19th, 20th, I'm going to be there. I'm working with Root Entertainment. We're going to have 50 or 60 belts of all different kinds, WWF belts, WCW belts, TV title belts, at a reasonable price and quality. Hey, my name is stamped on there. I'm not stamping my name unless it's 5-star. I'm not doing anything unless it's really good quality. I'm talking about from wrestling to belts to anything I do. So I'm a big part of that. So we're having all these belts. And I'm going to have some of my stuff, like I make these jackets and ECW. Look at this. Is a fried denim leather 5-star jacket, brothers. Absolutely beautiful.
Awesome.
I'm bringing stuff like that. And, then I got one like this is a denim jean jacket. It says RVD Sabu Hardcore Legends Tour. Pretty fucking cool, Daddy. And who has these? I'm gonna be bringing stuff like this. Like this is my Andre. He stepped on my foot. This is a great shirt. I only have 4 or 5 of these, and they'll be gone the first day. But
no doubt about that. Yeah.
I'm bringing some cool stuff. I got backpacks with ECW logo on them, and just because I was affiliated with ECW, and people would rather buy it from Fonzie than somebody they don't know.
Absolutely.
Plus, I throw all my baseball cards in, and I'll show you real quick. I know we're wrapping it up, and we'll get ready to go. But
no, I'm happy you're getting this stuff over.
So, all my cards, like there's Ric Flair, Fujinami, Tokyo Dome, Bill Alfonso calling it right down the middle. Here is Brian Pillman slamming Ric Flair off the top rope, and Fonzie's refereeing.
That's awesome.
There's Andre. There's a 1981 Miami Beach Convention Center. I'll show you the picture earlier. There's Megan and Elbow from Dusty Rhodes. He's fighting Ron Bass. There's a picture of Fonzie and Rick Rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, God bless him. We lost him early. I went to his funeral and I asked him his wife's permission. I said, hey, do you mind if I put a joint in his pocket, in an open casket? And he said, yes. Because I traveled and rode with Rick Rude for years. So I put a joint in his top pocket. I got it approved by his wife. I thought it'd be something because he did like to smoke pot. But anyway. Awesome. But anyway, I got all kind of memorabilia and jackets and cool stuff that I'm bringing. So if you guys want to get ECW hook up with some merchandise, I'm going to be there in WrestleMania for 3 days. I'll bring some cool merchandise. We have some great belts, Root Entertainment. I can't wait to see everybody.
It's going to be a blast, Fonzie. I'm excited. Las Vegas is a heck of a city. That's where we hung out too last time at Cauliflower Alley.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep. And
And I'm taking you out to, I forget the name of the steak place. I don't know if it's Ruth Chris, the famous steak place, one of the famous steak places.
Yeah, well, Ruth Chris is one of the famous steak places.
Yeah, they got a dozen of them, but you and I are gonna have a nice dinner and talk some strategy about future podcasts of Fonzie.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
And of course, I'm buying, Daddy.
Oh, thanks, Fonzie.
Yeah, man.
Well, cool, guys. If you like what you're seeing, be sure to like, share, subscribe, rvdtv.com. But always help support out Fonzie. Go to Ruda Entertainment if you're interested in some high-quality custom belts and everything like that. RudaEntertainment.com.
Best belts. You buy a better belt anywhere in the country.
Absolutely. Tell him Fonzie
very competitive with the prices.
Yes, yes. And Joel's a great guy. You can definitely interact with him very well and everything like that. And yes, be sure to visit Fonzie. Go to onlywrestlers.com, sign up, subscribe to his account too if you want to too.
May 29th, Daddy, is on a Thursday in Chicago, baby. A big production, onlywrestlers.com. I'll be there with all my superstar friends, including the whole fucking show, RVD, and the beautiful Katie Forbes.
Absolutely. So check that out. And thank you, everybody, for joining in, all the regulars. Be sure to spread the word about the show and help get this stuff going off so we can get make 2025 an even bigger year for all of us. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. And yes, nobody calls it right down the middle.
Right down the middle, like Daddy.
Fonzie, Daddy. We'll see you next time here on Right Down the Middle with Bill Fonzie Alfonso.
And this is Bill Alfonso saying so long, just like my great friend, so long from the Sunshine State.
Yes. See you guys.
Slowly.